Guys, in the video, watch it till the end because within the video, I kind of screwed up and I was going to end the video and then I had to play it. But the video clip is going to be at the end of the video. So just watch the video in its entirety so that you can hear what Paulo has to say about USDT. Let's get into the video. What's up, guys? I'm back with another one. In this video, we're going to be going over the new project, and I don't know if any of you guys heard about it, but USDT Tether has come up with a new project. The new project is actually another stablecoin. Now, a lot of people may be wondering, why did they come up with another stablecoin? I'm going to play a video clip with Bo Hines and Paulo. I can't remember his last name, so I don't want to butcher it. But Paulo, he's the CEO of Tether. And Bo Hines, he used to work for the government, the US government, on the crypto side of things. And he's going to be running USAT. That's the new stablecoin developed by Tether. And this coin is supposed to be something that is more domestic, whereas Tether is more international, right? So I'm going to show you guys a couple of screenshots from the website. Now, the website is not fully developed. However, I'm going to just show you a couple of things and then I'm going to talk about it and tell you how I feel about it and tell you what I think about it, right? So let's get into the clips right now. So as you can see here, this is how the website looks. The website is usat.io, right? You can go there and you can look it up yourself. So let's read here. It says, dollars that move without intermediaries. Tether is working on a USAT, which will be a dollar-backed stablecoin designed for the internet age. Spend, send, and receive money instantly, right from your phone. No intermediaries required. Pure freedom. So just from that small little clip, when I read it, I said, right from your phone, no intermediaries, meaning banks, right? That, to me, said that they're working on something that's more of a, like, if you're familiar with Apple Cash, because with iPhone users, you can send cash to, you know, a family member or a friend, and you can pay them like that. I mean, you can also pay for things using Apple Cash in retail stores. So when I read that part, no intermediaries required and right from your phone, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be basically the cash in your wallet on your phone, right? So you're going to be able to send USAT to friends, family. You're going to be able to pay for things with this. That was my first thought when I saw that. I don't know what you think. Leave it in the comments below what you think about that, right? So as we scroll, we see USAT made in America, because this coin is more made with the Genius Act in mind, right? So because they created the Genius Act, Tether decided to now come to the US and build a stable coin in the US. And I know many of you may be like, well, why would they do that? And, you know, Tether is this and Tether is that. Let me tell y'all something. Tether is probably one of the best stable coins in the market. One of the best. I personally think that USDT is the stable coin that a lot of millionaires and billionaires are going to be using because it's more international, right? So with it being more international, they're going to probably put their money in that versus USDC versus RLUSD versus what's the other stable coin it has? Not many. I mean, when you think about it. I mean, it has many, but not many that I think that they will want to put their money in. So the USAT is going to be another one of those coins that, yeah, they're going to put their money in, but not all their money. And when I played a video clip, you would kind of get an idea of what they're trying to say in the video clip. All right, but let's keep on reading here. The power of the dollar in your control. USAT will be a stablecoin digital money that lives on the internet, no, not in a vault. It's designed for one purpose, to always be worth $1. Always one-to-one, simple and transparently backed. One USAT will always be redeemable for $1, backed in full by liquid reserves. Moves at internet speed. No 3-day wait for transfers to clear. Payments are designed to happen in seconds, not days. No more middlemen. This will be your money, your control. Send it directly to anyone, anywhere. Money that is truly yours, right? So I just want to also touch on this back one-to-one by $1. That statement is a statement that they make just so that they can have the trust of people. That's why they make that statement. These stable coins are not backed by a US dollar for one reason. Why would they back it by a US dollar when the US dollar is worth $0? Again, I know that sounds weird, but why would they back it by a US dollar when the US dollar has no value? It's not back one-to-one by the US dollar. It's going to be back one-to-one by whatever value is on the blockchain, right? So when it comes to these stable coins, if you see that they are, like, I don't want to say integrating, but in somewhat is like integrating into different blockchains. So that's just because Tether itself or USAT themselves will not be able to move all of the money that has to move if they have to depend on just their blockchain. So teaming up with other blockchains is very beneficial for them because now you can move money on different blockchains. That's why they are partnering with different blockchains. And Tether has a lot of partnerships and they have a lot of business dealings with so many different companies and financial institutions, right? And governments and countries. I mean, they're big. So with bringing the USAT, even though it's going to be more of a domestic coin, a domestic stable coin, they're still going to need to be able to run on, they're still going to run on other blockchains because they're just going to make it more efficient to move the money around. So I told one of my friends this some months back, or maybe last year I told him this. I personally think that the way stable coins are going to operate, in my opinion, from what I see, you're going to somewhat, in the near future, you're going to somewhat know what industry someone works in based on the stablecoin cash that they have. So based on your stablecoin cash, they're going to probably know what industry you work in. Because if you have, it's all going to be either USDC or it's going to be Tether, right? Or USAT. However, depending on the blockchain that it's on, is probably going to be an indicator as to what industry you work in. Because all the different blockchains, they're teamed up or partnered up or focused on different industries, right? So some is finance, some is data, some may be cell phones. It's just technology on the whole, right? So they're targeting different industries and going towards different things. So I personally think that in the near future, you're probably going to know what industry someone works in, depending on what stablecoin they're using and the blockchain that stablecoin is on, right? That's what I personally think. I could be wrong, but it was just a thought that I had, right? It's not something that's set in stone, but I just think that because they have all these different ones and now they're coming out with the USAT, which, I mean, me personally, I think that this USAT is going to be more of, like I said earlier in the video, is going to be more of a stable coin that lives on your wallet. It's basically going to be in your wallet. So you're going to have your bank account as regular. And if you never used Apple Cash, how you use Apple Cash, you have your bank account and then you take money from your bank account and you convert it into Apple Cash. Well, that's going to be the same way what's going to happen moving forward, right? Because remember, there's a difference between money and there's a difference between cash. So USAT may be more of a cash-based tool to use for payments, whereas USDC will be more of a banking thing, right? RLUSD is going to be more of a banking thing. So when I say that, I'm saying that in your bank account, you may see your money is USDC, or it could be RLUSD, right? Or it could even be Tether. But on the wallet on your phone, it will more than likely be USAT, because it seems like that's what they're trying to do. That's what they're targeting, right? So even when you're giving a tip, you're going to tip somebody and you're going to tip them from your wallet on your phone in USAT. That's how I think is going to happen. I mean, again, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that this is what it's going to be like, right? So you're going to basically take your USDC and you're going to convert it into USAT, and that's going to be the wallet that lives on your phone. You're going to control that. That's going to be your money. Whatever's in your bank account is going to belong to the bank, right? So that's USDC. That's going to belong to the bank. That's going to be the bank money. RLUSD is going to be the bank money, right? But USAT is going to be your money, because that's going to be cash. Now, they may come up with another type of stable coin, right? They may come up with another type of stable coin, and I'm pretty sure they are, because it's probably, again, going to have many different types of stable coins. For the simple fact of the matter that when they're giving out government benefits, it may be a different stable coin used for that, right? Government benefits, right? So people that is on welfare and people that collect SSI and people that collect disability, right? You may be getting your money in a different type of stable coin. It's still going to be a stable coin, but it's just going to be a different type. That's what I'm thinking. Again, I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. Also, people, they talk about, oh, how is this company creating a stable coin? I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense, right? Just think about it for a second. It makes sense, because if you have a Bank of America card, or you have a JP Morgan card, or you have a Wells Fargo card, or you have a Citibank card, you're basically spending their money anyway. Their logo is on the card. So would it make a difference if they come up with their own stablecoin? I mean, no. That's how you got to look at it, right? You got to look at things like that. When you use a credit card, not a credit card, when you use a debit card that is issued by a particular bank, you're basically spending their money, right? So them having a stable coin is really almost the same thing when you think about it. It's really not no different. You're spending money from their bank, right? On those cards are encoded with all types of information, letting people know that that card belongs to this banking institution, whether it be Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, or Citibank, right? It will tell people that. And if if you make online payments, sometimes when you put in your card, it will tell you, oh, this is a Visa card from Bank of America or a Visa card from Wells Fargo. It will tell you that, right? Because they're encoded like that. So them having their own stable coins is really not anything different. It's not something to be, blowing a fuse about and getting all crazy about. It's really not. When you have your money in your account, right, and you go take out your money from the ATM, you're taking out their money. It just doesn't have their name on it, right? No one asks you, oh, is this Bank of America cash, or is this Chase cash, or is this Citibank cash, or is this Wells Fargo cash? No, because it's all cash, and that's the way how the stable coins are going to work. It's going to be the same thing. It's just going to be a stablecoin that's issued by that particular bank, right? Now, the banks could do that because the banks are going to have XRP, XLM, XDC. You know, they're going to have these coins on their books. So they are going to be able to now create their own stable coins based on the value that they have within the bank. Now, every bank branch might be a little different, so they're only going to be able to issue up to a certain amount. But the overall idea is that they're going to have those assets that they can issue their own stable coins that's going to be pegged to the value that they have on their banking ledger. That's how that's going to work. Again, I tell y'all guys this all the time. It is much more simpler than it seems. Anyway, I got, a little, well, I didn't really get sidetracked, but, I went on a long rant. Let's continue reading this USAT news. Well, not news, but yeah, you get the idea. For the hustle, for the home, for you. Stablecoins like USAT are not just new technology. They are a better way to manage your money. And I believe it is, because it's going to be right there. I don't have to worry about cash. I don't have to worry about losing cash. I don't have to worry about getting mugged for my cash when I'm in certain places. I'm not going to have to worry about that because the cash is going to be right on my phone. Very convenient, very easy. And with them designing this like this, where it's yours in your wallet, no one knows how much you have in your wallet, that's how it's going to be. A lot of people don't believe that, but that's how it's going to be. They're not going to be able to see what you have in your wallet on your phone. Don't believe the BS when you hear people talking that. It's all a lie. Those people don't know what they're talking about. They're not going to be able to see what you have in your wallet on your phone. Right now, when you have Apple Cash on your phone, no one could see that but you. No one could see it but you. Apple doesn't know how much money you have in there. Only you could see that. Only you could see that. They only could see how much Apple Cash you may have got in rewards, because you could get Apple Cash back in rewards, like for paying. Like if you have the Apple credit card, you get back Apple Cash and rewards, right? You can do that. They will see that. But when you move cash, like when you move cash into the wallet, they can't see it. Your bank could, but Apple cannot, right? And then they don't see who you sent cash to. They don't see that either. They don't see that. So at the end of the day, people just got to cut it out. It seems like it has a lot of criminals out here that's worried about the wrong stuff. I'm not worried about none of this because I'm not a criminal, and I'm not worried about doing any criminal activities. I like my life. I love freedom. Spending freely. Upgrade your online checkout. Pay for goods and services with digital cash instantly. Get paid faster. For freelancers, creators, and small business, receive payment from anywhere on earth and have it settle in moments. Send money home. Remittance reimagined. Send support to family abroad with minimal fees. More of your money gets where it needs to go. Power your vision. For the builders and innovators, USAT is the foundational rail for the next generation of American commerce. I mean, guys, tell me what you think about it in the comments below. USAT is coming. All right, I told y'all already, by the end of this month, checks is going to be going bye-bye. Say goodbye to paper checks. There's not going to be any more paper checks. And the end of this month is this week coming. So say bye-bye to paper checks. Trump has been making a lot of moves. They've been keeping us busy and distracted with all of the other stuff going on in the news. The unfortunate event that happened with Charlie Kirk, that's unfortunate. However, they're going to push that in your face because they don't want you seeing what is really happening. Trump was in Europe this week talking to Prince Charles. Why was he there talking? And then you had a whole bunch of other power players there, from your Elon Musk to your Nvidia, your Google, your Facebooks. All these people was over in Europe. What you think that was for? Y'all think that these people just meet just to meet? No, I've been around people with money. These people only meet when they're talking business. Real business. They're not doing the regular folk stuff. No, they don't waste their time with that because their time is money. So when they meeting, they're talking business. And if you think that they just went to just parlay and, oh my gosh, no, they're not doing all that. They there for business, all right? It was a big meeting. I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but a big meeting that happened in Europe, in England. I mean, just keep your ears open. Keep your ears open and your eyes open. Let me just read this last part here. Important note, USAT will not be legal tender as described in Section 5103 of Title 31 U.S. States Code and will not be issued, backed, approved, or guaranteed by the U.S. government. USAT will not be subject to the insurance protection of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, the Securities Investor Protection Corporation, SIPC, or any other government agency. This website is published by Tether Operations, SA, DCV DCV for informational purposes only. Tether Operations, DECV, is not the intended user of USAT. The issuer of USAT will be Anchorage Digital Bank. So Anchorage Digital Bank is going to be issuing USAT. Well, guys, that's all I have for you on this one here. Like I said, Tether, they're making big moves. I'm sorry, that's not all I have for you guys. I forgot. We're going to watch the video and we're going to just hear what they have to say about it. All right? So let's take a listen to the video right now. Let me cue it up.
Now, I want to talk about USAT and USDT. Just talk to me about the difference between the two for folks who are just learning about it today.
So USDT is the stablecoin, the digital dollar for all the emerging markets, has now more than 500, has now almost 500 million users across all the emerging markets, developing countries. And
so I just wanted to stop it here right quick, because if you see Paulo, when he was talking about how much users or money that goes across Tether, he almost looked like he wanted to say 500 billion and not 500 million. He almost looked like he wanted to say that, but he had to stop himself. And if you see, he had to pause and he had to think, oh my gosh, I cannot let the cat out the bag. Let me, it's 500 million users, $500 million, right? Is what he then turned around and said. I'll tell you, these guys are hiding big secrets, big secrets. I mean, huge secrets. Let's continue.
It's a product that was properly designed for all the unbanked and underserved of those regions, right? Think about Africa, Central South America, Southeast Asia, and similar. So USAT instead is a product that is designed for the US market, is branded for the US market, is a product that will focus to find the people and the communities that still need and better access to financial services. So they are the underserved of America, but at the same time is well positioned thanks to the Genius Act to collaborate with all the US institutions to create this symbiosis between a foreign product that like USDT, a domestic product like USAT, and this huge distribution network that Tether created over the last many years that is able to reach and touch directly hundreds of millions of people. So now when we are talking to institutions in the United States that are the most sophisticated institutions in the world, they understand that we are uniquely positioned to help them also to broaden their reach through our huge distribution network, and all starts from USAT within the United States, and then if needed globally can expand to USDT. So we are using the two stablecoins in a very parallel way, so that there are two flavors of the same product, but at the same time they are completely working under the same technological protocol, so they are swappable, interoperable, and can continue to grow and become the de facto standard for all the financial transactions in the United States and abroad.
Talk about the underserved Americans who USAT can help as USDT has in other regions all over the world. Talk to me a little bit about what that population looks like.
So that population is the one that is the lowest earner. For example, they are the ones that are in this moment subject to or they have difficulties to obtain bank accounts or simply to have access to a cheap way to transact. And I think with blockchain technology, we can in fact introduce wallets that are digital wallets that allow these communities to hold onto their dollars in a way that is very safe, is very liquid, is very fast to transact with, is very broadly accepted. Because again, these financial rails built between USAT and USD are able to let them reach hundreds of millions of people. And sometimes happens that the low-income part of the population is the one that is also coinciding or overlapping with the expats. So they are the ones that also need the remittances the most. But the remittances, as we said, now are in control of few companies that are charging very high fees. So the ecosystem that we are creating is speaking to the people that are underserved because we understand their needs, and we prove that with the USDT while the rest of the financial world was sleeping at the wheel.
You said in the fireside chat, no ambitions to go public as you come to the US. Just tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, Tether has a huge mission that is revolutionize the financial industry, as well as to build a stable society or help building a stable society and build tools that will achieve this goal. And maximizing the profits, although Tether makes an enormous amount of money, we are very lucky with that. It cannot be our only objective and our only topic of discussion with a couple of analysts every quarter to show that we are maximizing every cent. I want to maximize good impact in terms of stability of society before focusing on the returns. For the first 8 years, USDT made almost zero money because the interest rates were very low. But yet, even if we were not making money, that helped us to be established as the de facto standard for the emerging markets. And then we found a way to make money through, in a very safe way, through interest rates on the US Treasuries. So our focus cannot be pleasing Wall Street. Our focus should be helping society.
Well, I started this interview asking... All right, guys, so tell me what y'all think about that video, right? You heard what Bo said. I mean, not Bo. That was Paulo. You heard what Paulo said. He dropped some good knowledge about Tether. And I think that I really need to do the video on Tether like I said I wanted to do before. But if you heard what he said, he's not studying Wall Street. He's studying to build something that is going to work for the people and for society, right? That's what he's concentrating on. He doesn't care nothing about Wall Street, which is why you had all of this news coming out about Tether being this and being that and being this coin that's so bad, is because Paulo wasn't playing ball with Wall Street. He wasn't allowing them to lock him in, which is why I also believed, and I told one of my friends this too, Tether did not get on to, well, not that they didn't, well, how can I say? Tether did not want to really work with Ripple because Ripple was too tied into the government and Ripple was moving with the government. Tether didn't want to do that. Tether didn't want to do that. They're like, nah, I'm not going to have nobody handcuff us. Y'all could go ahead and do that, but I'm not doing that, right? So they decided to just get away from that because they understood one thing. If they partnered up with Ripple, Ripple was going to eventually put in an offer to buy them out. And that's not something that guy Paulo was probably going to go for. If you don't want to work with me and be actual partners, then I can't work with you because I'm not going to be bought out. You see what happened just a few months ago when Ripple wanted to buy USDC. That's why USDC went ahead and they were working with Stellar, because USDC was working with Ripple at one time, but then they broke that partnership and they went on and started working with Stellar XLM, right? Why? Because they understood that Ripple was going to buy them out, and Ripple still turned around and offered to buy them out anyway. After, what, 4 years of not working with them, right? Nah, these companies, some of these companies are not playing that game. They're not playing the US game. The US is trying to corner stuff and, take stuff. Some companies are not going for that. And that's something that we have to understand. Not everything is built here. There's other places that's building as well. And they could be building way better than the US because they're moving in a different type of, they're moving on a different type of time. They're not moving on the US's time. Like I keep hearing them talk about, the US is going to be the crypto capital of the world. How could y'all be the crypto capital? How could the US become the crypto capital of the world when they're so far behind in regulations and all of this stuff? Do you know how much countries have regulations? Their regulations are already passed for crypto. The US is what the US is doing is the US is telling people this for people to feel comfortable. They're rocking you to sleep with the BS. The US cannot be the crypto capital of the world when they're so far behind because so many other countries have their stuff together. They have all of their regulations and everything ready already. Like, we're behind, and we're still behind because I don't see nothing happening as fast as it should. I mean, it's happening faster than it was happening before, but already we should have had everything done, set in place, set in stone, and we don't. If you look at Africa already have so many things going right now, it's not even funny. Like, so many. But here in America, we concentrate on what America is doing, right? We also believe in what they're telling us when they say, oh, America's going to be the crypto capital. No, they're not. They're behind. They're just going to position it like that, and they're going to be feeding you that lie, but that's far from the truth. We're way behind. We're at least 2 or 3 years behind everyone else. 2 or 3 years behind everyone else. Don't believe the hype. Anyway, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm Thomas Bain. This is the Urban Ave Crypto. I'm out.